Please stand as Parker Rice of the Clay Center FFA chapter sings our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting and gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Hi, I'm Dr. Cassie Jones. I am an assistant professor and the coordinator of undergraduate research in the Department of Animal Sciences and Industry at K-State. I was involved in North Dakota's FFA chapter, and my home chapter was Beulah FFA. In North Dakota, I was a state FFA officer and served as secretary of my local chapter. My diversified livestock production SAE really helped me identify that I was passionate about the swine industry. And so I started to look at universities that were great in things associated with swine. As soon as I got onto K-State's campus, I knew that it was the right place for me. That sounds kind of cliche, but it was really the culture of K-State that got me. It was the perfect blend of a large university that offered all of the faculty expertise and the unique facilities, but also the small town culture. People knew me by my first name, and it felt like a family atmosphere. I realized that even though it was a big university that offered all of these opportunities, it still felt like home.
Winning. It's like 25 the lives that you bust out of prison. Something's in the air, something's in the air. It's like that feeling when you're just about to kill it. Take your last shot, you know you're gonna hit it. Something's in the air, something's in the air. Whoa. Something big, I feel it happening out of my control. Pushing, pulling, and it's grabbing me. Feel it in my bones like, oh, whoa. To win the medal. ground will shake. If we clap our hands, the walls will break. Yo, so loud, won't forget our names. Cause something big is happening. Take this spark and start a fire. Raise this up, we're feeling high. They can't tell us anything. Something big is happening. Something big, I feel it happening out of my control. Pushing, pulling, and it's grabbing me. Feel it in my bones like, oh, 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 oh. Something big is happening. Whoa, 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 whoa. Something big, I feel it happening. Oh.
The convention hall will come to order. We are now holding the sixth session of the 90th Kansas FFA Convention. Mr. Vice President, are all officers at their stations?
I shall call the roll of officers, determine if they're at their stations, and report back to you, Mr. President. The Sentinel.
Station by the door.
Your duties there.
Through this door pass many friends of the FFA. It is my duty to see that the door is open to our friends at all times and that they are welcome. I care for the meeting room and paraphernalia. I strive to keep the room comfortable and assist the president in maintaining order.
The reporter.
The reporter is stationed by the flag.
Why by the flag?
As the flag covers the United States of America, so I strive to inform the people, in order that every man, woman, and child may know that the FFA is a national organization whose reach is from the state of Alaska to the Virgin Islands, and from the states of Maine to Hawaii.
The treasurer.
Stationed at the emblem of Washington,
Your duties there.
I keep a record of receipts and disbursements, just as Washington kept his farm accounts, carefully and accurately. I encourage thrift among the members and strive to build up our financial standing through savings and investments. George Washington was better able to serve his country because he was financially independent.
The secretary.
Stationed by the ear of corn,
Your duties there.
I keep an accurate record of all meetings and correspond with other secretaries wherever corn is grown and FFA members meet.
The advisor.
Here by the owl.
Why stationed by the owl?
The owl is a time-honored emblem of knowledge and wisdom. Being older than the rest of you, I'm asked to advise you from time to time as the need arises. Hope that my advice is always based upon true knowledge and ripened with wisdom. Mr. Vice President, why do you keep the plow at your station?
The plow is a symbol of labor and tillage of the soil. Without labor, neither knowledge nor wisdom can accomplish much. My duties require me to assist at all times in directing the work of our organization. I preside over meetings in the absence of our president, whose place is beneath the rising sun.
Why is the president so stationed?
The rising sun is a token of a new era in agriculture. If we will follow the leadership of our president, we shall be led out of the darkness of selfishness and into the glorious sunlight of brotherhood and cooperation. Mr. President, all officers are at their stations.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. The Secretary will call the roll of members.
I am pleased to announce that at the sixth session of the Kansas 90th Convention, there are 1,851 advisors, members, and guests registered, Mr. President.
Thank you. FFA members, why are we here? To practice brotherhood, honor agricultural opportunities and responsibilities, and develop those qualities of leadership which an FFA member should possess. May we accomplish our purposes. I now declare this sixth session of the 90th Kansas FFA Convention duly open for the transaction of business or attention to any matters which may properly be presented. It is a tradition of Kansas FFA to recognize retiring advisors during state convention. Today, we are honored to have Mr. Bob Weirdy of the Riley County FFA chapter join us for opening ceremonies. He is retiring after 31 years of service to agricultural education. Please join me in thanking Mr. Weirdy for his service to Kansas FFA and agricultural education. At this, the 90th Kansas FFA Convention, we get to celebrate the 90 years that the National FFA organization has been active within our state. Just as this convention is noted for being a symbol of the longevity and tradition of our organization, a hobby of mine has those same characteristics. Hunting has been around for as long as man has existed. Before animals were domesticated, hunting was the primary way to obtain meat, which was a primary source of protein for diets. It started with little strategy and next to no specialized gear. The strategies and gear developed as man depended upon hunting to put food on the table. Even as animals were domesticated, hunting was still an important part of providing food. Around medieval times, hunting became more for sport and was primarily taken part in by the nobility. As man has become civilized, and a vast majority of the population utilizes hunting for sport and a chance to experience the outdoors. But there are still people who depend upon it for their meat and protein. Just as hunting has a rich history and tradition, so does the Kansas FFA degree. The Kansas FFA degree was first awarded in 1929 with nearly 12,000 recipients to date. In this session, we will hear from our speaker, Melissa Hildebrand Reed, recognize our state degree recipients, and finally draw to see who wins this year's Gator. Let's get ready to celebrate the tradition of the state FFA degree. Melissa Hildebrand Reed grew up on a dairy near Chapman, Kansas. She was an active member of the Chapman FFA chapter and served as the Kansas FFA reporter from 2003 to 2004. She graduated from Kansas State University with a degree in agricultural communications and journalism. After working a few years for a startup newspaper in Texas, she returned to manage the marketing responsibilities and an on-site production facility at her Hildebrand Farms Dairy, her family's operation. With her responsibilities, she tells the story of dairy production with consumers, a direct relationship to the agricultural communications supervised agricultural experience she developed as an FFA member. Please join me in welcoming Melissa to the stage.
Thank you. Good morning, Kansas FFA. All right. Okay, so it's a good day, right? It's beautiful in Manhattan. Somebody is going to get a Gator. Where are you? I know you're here. There's 10 of you, right? No? One? All right. You're the lucky one. You're going to be my best friend after this, right? All right. So, and what's really awesome is that there's almost 300 of you that are going to be getting your state FFA degrees. What an accomplishment and how cool. Now, I don't think you understand how great today is because today, of all days, is World Milk Day. Yeah! Yeah! That's what I'm talking about. World Milk Day. Now, there's a lot of days out there, right? There's National, I don't know, May 10th was National Pick Up Your Room Day. Everyone celebrated, right? And yeah, no? Well, what about No More Dirty Dishes Day on May 18th? Yeah? Okay, so I'm a mom of two. I got one more on the way. I got to tell you, neither of those holidays were recognized in my world. But World Milk Day, that's what I live for. I'm a dairy farmer, and today's the day. So I am so excited to be here, and I can't think of a better way to celebrate than with the Kansas FFA, right? So let me tell you a little bit about my farm. I am with Hildebrand Farms Dairy. Has anyone ever heard of Hildebrand Farms Dairy? Dang, nice, Cool, I'm feeling good now. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about how my SAE has actually built our farm. And a big reason that we're around today is because of FFA and my involvement with my SAE. Now, are there any dairy farmers in the house? Couple? Probably Washington, Lynn. I always competed against you guys for proficiency awards and lost, just saying. But I will tell you, when you're a dairy farmer, there's a couple rules you live by. And those rules are that you get a vacation about every 10 years or so, right? So in 2001, my dad came to the family and said, hey, we're going on vacation. I mean, we couldn't believe it. Okay, so 2001, some of y'all were born, right? Probably. Or sucking your thumbs still around the pacifier. Yeah, I was in high school. So to put that in perspective, I was 16, and I had heard about this term vacation. You know, I had heard other people, talk about all the cool things they did on vacation. But in the dairy farming world, it was something beyond us, beyond that one time in Colorado when I was like 8. So anyways, our 10-year was up, and Dad gets us on vacation. We drive up to Illinois. Now, we know we're going to see family, and we know that we're going to have a few surprises along the way, but we don't really know exactly where we're going or what we're doing. It's always a little bit of a mystery. So we're driving 500 miles, get up to a remote area of Illinois, and we spend the night, and Dad's all excited about this big surprise he has for us the next day. So we wake up, and we get the surprise of our life when we get to see a 10,000-gallon manure spreader. Yeah! Now this was the Mac Daddy of all manure spreaders, right? So this injects the manure into the soil, allows us to take our fertilizer to far-off fields, and it just couldn't get any better than this, right? Well, I gotta tell you, as a family, we should have known better. Like, we should have known when Dad has the idea for a vacation, we should have known it was gonna revolve around the farm. You see, my dad lives, breathes, and dreams dairy farming. He is unbelievably passionate about what he does. And that passion transcends from when he's in the truck listening to the radio, to when he's home watching KFRM, to where he's in the bathroom reading the magazines. I'm telling you, the man is constantly dairy farming. Well, it's hard not to have a passion like that rub off. So when I was in high school, and my advisor started talking about, what is going to be your SAE? What's the plan? I instantly thought, well, I was planning to do basketball. 5'10", at the age of 12, there should be some ability there, right? Should be, but there wasn't. And so the idea of, putting my lackluster basketball career to the side to milk cows was actually very, very appealing. And so at that point, because of FFA, I said, all right, I'm going to put sports to the side, I'm going to milk. And I absolutely loved it. I love milking alongside my family, and not just being the farm kid that feeds the calves or fills in when needed, but really learning about my farm and understanding animal husbandry and how to take care of them and vaccinate and breed and all the intricacies that go into dairying. And so it was through my SAE, and I was placement dairy, that I really gained an understanding of what our farm was all about. And so I had this passion, and with that passion, you start asking questions. Now, a question that gets asked often, and I think every farm experiences this question at some point: how do we sustain for the next generation? So we were milking about 120 cows, and I kept telling Dad, I'm like, hey, I'm ready to come back. What are we gonna do? We gotta get bigger. In a dairy world, you buy more cows, cows equal milk, milk equals money. It's a flawed theory, but it's the one we live by. So we start thinking, okay, let's expand and get some more cows. So we slowly start growing, and by my junior year, we went from 120 all the way up to about 200. So that's a decent increase. By my senior year, we got up to almost 250. Now, we were feeling good. We had the pens, we had the feed, but we had one area that we were lacking, and it wasn't until we have 3 wells. We had 2 of those water wells dry up after 3 really dry years. Now, one cow drinks about 200 gallons of water. That's about a bathtub full a day, right? And so when you don't have water, you don't get milk. And so we knew very quickly that our dreams of expanding and growing so that the next generation could come back weren't going to happen from more cows. So we slowly kind of whittled our herd back down. We got down to about 150, and we thought, man, what are we going to do? Well, at this point, I had graduated, and I had the absolute honor and pleasure of serving as a state officer my freshman year at K-State. And I will tell you, I loved not milking. Who knew how great it was to sleep in until like 8 o'clock? And how awesome it was to do what you wanted to do for like those 2 sections of the day. And while I loved dairy farming, the freedom of not milking was kind of amazing. And so through college, I learned that I have other passions beyond dairy farming. I have other things I'm interested in. I love marketing. I love communicating. I love talking to that customer that thinks that chocolate milk comes from the brown cow. Like, I love the opportunity to educate. And so while in college, I really gained an understanding of myself so much more. Now, through this time, my dad hadn't given up that dream of expanding for the next generation. When I went to graduate in 2003, I got a call from Dad, and he said, "We're ready to go." I said, "Ready to go for what?" He said, "The processing plant, we're doing it. We've talked about it, we've run the numbers, we're feeling really good, we're ready to go, and we want you to come back, and we've got a job for you." I mean, what a gift, right? I mean, I couldn't believe it. I was so excited, but yet I knew it didn't feel quite right. My time wasn't there. I just graduated K-State. I'd only been about 30 miles from home, and I knew the world had so much more. So it took a lot, but I said, "I'm not ready. You're going to have to give me a little more time." I moved down to Austin, Texas. Amazing town, amazing music, right? Good music down there. I absolutely love living in Austin. And I had such a great experience being able to see other businesses succeed and take that knowledge back. Because in 2010, I knew it was time to come home. I was ready. And the day that I moved home, the grass had never looked so green, the sky had never been so blue. I knew what I was coming home to, and I was ready to stay. I'd sowed my oats, and I was feeling good. And I have to tell you, it has been such a ride since. We were able, at that point, we've been processing for about a year. And so from that point, we are at about 10 stores. We're now in 125 grocery stores. We deliver all the way to Liberal, to Lawrence, from Colby to Emporia, Salina, Manhattan, Topeka, everywhere in between. And it has been such a really cool journey. Now, I have to tell you, if I'm going to boil this all down into one key point, what's my one piece of advice, my one takeaway, and what we live by at our farm? You're going to have to forgive me because it's a dairy reference. You can't cry over spilled milk. So in everything we do, and everything we live and die by, that's something we say over and over again, and it's probably because when you bottle your milk in glass, you get a lot of spilled milk, right? So in our world, we're always thrown challenges and curveballs and things that we don't anticipate. Just this Tuesday, I got a call from a driver at 5 a.m., and the refrigeration unit had gone down on his truck. We lost the entire truckload of milk because it got too hot. And it's all good. Come back to the farm. We'll get you going. We were able to rock it. We processed that morning. We got him back on the road by 9:30. We were feeling so good. Really proud of ourselves. We overcame our challenge. Only to have that refrigeration unit fail again at 11 o'clock. Couldn't believe it. We thought we got the problem fixed. This time I lost double the milk that I did the first time. And at this point, the plant people are thinking, "Please don't make me dump that again." But we got through it. I said, "We can't cry over spilled milk. We're good. We got this." And we made it through. It's been a crazy week, but it's definitely been one that has made us learn so much about what we can do to better prepare ourselves for the future. And I think that that's what I want you to think of as you have challenges that come to you. So maybe you don't get that office that you were really hoping for. Maybe you didn't rank at the CDE like you were really wanting to. Maybe it's a sports failure, or you just feel like you're not meeting your parents' expectations at times. We always have challenges coming at us. And what can be really tough is when you get on social media and everybody's smiling all the time. You're thinking, what the heck? Is it just me? Well, it's not just you, but it's definitely your chance to shine and learn, because every challenge that comes definitely provides new and exciting opportunities ahead. Now, I'm going to leave you with one final thought, and this final thought is those state degree recipients that are in the house. Today is your day. You have worked so hard, and it's so cool to see what you've accomplished. You've put in the volunteer hours, you've kept the record books, you've committed to your SAE. And today, I hope you take a little time to celebrate. Now, of course, I would do that over a glass of chocolate milk, but you're welcome to celebrate in your own way. I thank you so much for allowing me to be here, and I want to say a big cheers on this World Milk Day.
Melissa, thank you for serving as a voice for agriculture. Your ability to communicate with the consumers of the product of our toil serves not only your operation, but the industry as a whole. Please accept this token of our appreciation for your time here with us today. We all know an outdoorsman who has been at it for years. They know all the secret spots, have all the cutting-edge, high-quality gear, and speak the same language as the wildlife. The individuals recognized next are like our experienced hunters. They have all gained significant experience through their SAE. They, too, have invested much in their endeavors. They have all gained significant experience, and those selected for the FFA degree, the state FFA degree, have learned much and proven their abilities through their experiences. We are proud and honored to have so many worthy recipients this year. The Kansas FFA degree is the highest degree our association can bestow upon its members. To receive this recognition, members must have earned their chapter FFA degree, been an active member, and completed at least 2 years of agricultural education above the 9th grade level. Recipients must also have a supervised agricultural experience program in which they have productively earned or invested $1,000 or worked for over 300 hours outside of scheduled class time, or a combination of the two. Additionally, the candidates must demonstrate leadership qualities, assist with the chapter's program of activities, and participate in community service and FFA activities. Finally, a completed Kansas FFA degree application shows their satisfactory record of academics, leadership, and involvement in the FFA. This year, 305 Kansas FFA members will receive the Golden Charm of the Kansas FFA degree. Recipients will be announced in alphabetical order by schools within their respective districts. Please come forward to take pictures only when your district is called. We shall proceed with the degree ceremonies. Madam Secretary, what have you to report concerning candidates eligible for this degree?
I am pleased to submit the names of 305 candidates that have been selected by the State Executive Committee to receive the State FFA degree.
Our Constitution outlines minimum requirements which must be met before candidates are considered eligible for election to this degree. Mr. Advisor, have you carefully reviewed and examined the records of these candidates?
I have, Mr. President, and found all candidates fully qualified.
We will proceed to raise these members to the state FFA degree. Will the candidates please rise?
The state FFA degree is the highest degree our state association can bestow. Some of you will one day earn the coveted golden key of the American FFA degree. We urge you to maintain throughout your adult lives the same enthusiasm and dedication you bring to this ceremony today.
It is an honor to be nominated for the state FFA degree. It is still a greater honor to be selected to receive this degree by your fellow members of the Kansas FFA Association.
Your new achievements bring you even greater honors, as well as additional responsibilities. You have widened the field of your service and influence in the strengthening of agriculture, the most basic industry of our nation.
You have been urged to advance toward higher degrees in the FFA. We commend you for your accomplishments and encourage you to work toward new and higher goals in our organization and in your chosen occupation.
In meeting the requirements of the Green Hand and Chapter FFA degrees, you were told that the golden charm of the state FFA degree was awaiting you. The bronze emblem of the Green Hand gave way to the silver emblem of the Chapter FFA degree, which has now evolved into that golden charm. This is symbolic of growth and development in your chosen occupation. May the permanence of the rare and golden qualities of the emblem be a constant reminder of the strength of your education and the worthiness of your achievement. Therefore, on behalf of the Kansas FFA Association, I hereby confer upon you the state FFA degree with its honors and privileges and present to you this charm, the emblem of the degree. We are grateful for the sponsorship of these charms by the Kansas Electric Cooperatives and the Solomon Corporation. We are pleased to have Vicki Estes representing the Kansas Electric Cooperatives and Cindy Curry representing the Solomon Corporation to present the state degrees. Madam Secretary, will you please read the names of the individuals who have been awarded the state FFA degree?
Take it in, but don't look down. 'Cause I'm on top of the world. Hey.
Recipients will be announced in alphabetical order by schools within their respective districts. Please come forward to take pictures only when your district is called. The candidates from the Southwest District are, representing the Dodge City FFA chapter, Cameron Youngers. Representing the Greeley County FFA chapter, Evan Krochinger. No Oshner. Logan Redding. From the Hodgman County FFA chapter, J.C. Hillman. Carmen Lee. From the Holcomb FFA chapter, Chris Chandler. Stephen Crane. Kylie Hammond. Emma Mangles. Michael Peterson. Representing the Hugoton FFA chapter, Henry Beasley. Mitchell Hamlin. Caitlin Kiley. Megan Newland. From the La Crosse FFA chapter, Joseph Bout. Addie Kirshner. Jacob Showalter. Representing the Scott City FFA chapter, Emily Glenn. From the South Central FFA chapter, Allison Dale. Hunter Huck. Maddie Martin. Let's give the degree recipients from the Southwest District a round of applause. The candidates from the East Central District are, representing the Burlington FFA chapter, Cassidy Lynn Burke. Clay Rolfe. Tessa Rosselin. Delaney Schrader. Jarrett Truelove. From the Central Heights FFA chapter, Chad Hibden. Robin Moyer. Casey Rhodes. Representing the Crest FFA chapter is Austin Luke. From the Eudora FFA chapter, Tracy Neese. Representing the Jayhawk Glen FFA chapter, Blake Bogan. Brandon Gray. Nathan Levitt. Kyra Pointer. Delaney Stone. From the Meridazine Valley FFA chapter, Kaylee Holt. Dalton Hook. Josie Weimer. From the Mission Valley FFA chapter, Garrett Folk. Rachel Halupa. Mason Kuntz. Mateo Lisk. From the Ottawa FFA chapter, Aaron Duran. Levi Morrow. Morgan Reagan. Madeline Starrett. Noah White. Isaac Wingert. Representing the Paola FFA chapter, Tanner Duncan. Madison Toman. Krista Daines. From the Spring Hill FFA chapter, Michael Dowd. Colin Guthrie. Samantha LeBlanc. Y. O'Leary. Kate Schoenberg. Jennifer Strutville. Representing the Tonganoxie FFA chapter, Bryce Atchison. Allison Cannon. Jackie Oschlager. Braxton Shoup. From the Wabunsie FFA chapter, Mackenzie Howie. Kyle Savage. Hadley Schreiner. Brandon Wurzberger. From the West Franklin FFA chapter, Alexa McCurdy. Let's give the degree recipients from the East Central District a round of applause. The candidates from the North Central District are, from the Beloit FFA chapter, Brianna Schroeder. Representing the Blue Valley FFA chapter, Elizabeth Wright. Michael Wright. From the Chapman FFA chapter, Lindsay Anderson. Justin Holtgren. Rebecca Johnson. Jamie Rock. Stage Step. From the Clay Center FFA chapter, Cody Carlson. Caitlin Kramer. Reagan Greer. Evan Rosenow. Gavin Seibold. Catherine Slichter. Emma Smith. Representing the Ellsworth FFA chapter is Maggie Allen. Kara Hayes. Cassidy Kroboth. From the Harrington FFA chapter is Benjamin Barlow McKenna. Brooke Byler. Emma Bigham. Michaela Coop. Emily Dykeman. Cordell Kickhafer. Emily Rowe. From the Pike Valley FFA chapter, Braden Carlgren. Ben Jensen. Representing the Republic County FFA chapter, Amanda Baxa. Zach Pope. Riley Woodward. Representing the Riley County FFA chapter, Tate Wickstrom. From the Solomon FFA chapter, Olivia Holtz. Faith Jenke. Madison Robinson. From the Washington County FFA chapter, Luke Gobby. Riley Moore. Lauren Simmons. Ryan Stewart. Victoria Zaborski. Skylar Zinger. From the Wilson FFA chapter, Mason Prister. Let's give the degree recipients from the North Central District a round of applause. The candidates from the Northeast District are, representing the Axtell FFA chapter is Michael Swanson. From the Hiawatha FFA chapter, Daniel Kopp. From the Holton FFA chapter, Joshua Clark. From the Jackson Heights FFA chapter, Curtis Niehaus. Judd Nelson. From the Marysville FFA chapter, Grant Fickham. Michaela Forst. Kayla Glore. Holly Holthouse. Aaron Rombeck. Madison Voet. Representing the McLeod FFA chapter, Sydney Muir. From the Royal Valley FFA chapter, Blake Chance. Representing the Sabetha FFA chapter, Brandon Brownlee. Let's give the degree recipients from the Northeast District a round of applause. The candidates from the Northwest District are Natalie Hawkins from Atwood, Coy Hayes. Representing the Ellis FFA chapter is Lane Fisher, Cameron Kinderknecht, Lane Cole. From the Hoxie FFA chapter, Samuel Bretz, Sean Robin, Cami Schamberger. Representing the Lakeside FFA chapter is Madison Schindler, Nicholas Schmidt, Isaac Schoen. From the Plainville FFA chapter is Noah Hansen, Willow Hunt. From the St. Francis FFA chapter is Coy DeWall, Emily Dinkle, Echo Lennox, Mason Schmidt, Matheson Witzel. From the Waukeena FFA chapter is Cody Bliss. Let's give the degree recipients from the Northwest District a round of applause. The candidates from the South Central District are, from the Buhler FFA chapter is Faith Finney, Logan Pate, Addison Richardson, Lawson Schultz, Michael Stock, Lainey Worth. Representing the Center FFA chapter is Zach Barney, Jacob Biffle, Grace Knepp, Austin Peterson, Grace Peterson. From the Chaparral FFA chapter is Hunter Smith. Representing the Gospel FFA chapter is Emily Meyer, Maddie Meyer. From the Haven FFA chapter is Sydney Shive. Representing the Inman chapter is Alexis Bradley, Ashton Brunk, Dakota Barkhouse, Colin Weedle, Kaylee Weedle, Elizabeth Wood, representing the Mays FFA chapter is Brandon Karp. From the Marion FFA chapter is Caitlin Goebel, Caleb Hett, Carly Stapleford, Anton Venduska. Representing the Peabody Burns FFA chapter is Devin Gaines. Representing the South Barbara FFA chapter is Slater Blick. Joseph Bowden. Brianna Dunlap. Neil Goldschmeyer. Savannah Eubanks. Cody Jahay. Nick Malone. From the South Haven FFA chapter, David Moreland. Representing the Udall FFA chapter, Donna Brady. Dominic Urock. Dylan Luce. Peyton Weber. Mandy Whiteman. Mackenzie Wilson. From the Wellington FFA chapter, Andy Dry. Abby Lowe. Representing the Winfield FFA chapter, Benjamin Bradbury. Courtney Priest. Let's give the degree recipients from the South Central District and all our state degree recipients a round of applause. Those candidates from the Southeast District are, from the Caney FFA chapter, Jaden Trimble. From the Cherryville FFA chapter, Colbin Dodson. Colton Hall. Natalie Morris. Jessica Wood. From the Coffeyville FFA chapter, Joshua DeRosa. Trisha Hanna. Joshua Isle. From the Columbus FFA chapter, Dylan Helwig. Representing the Eureka FFA chapter, Jade Edwards. Mackenzie Jones. Representing the Fort Scott FFA chapter, Abigail Houston. Frank Miller. Lane Robinson. Cole Rogers. Christian Tate. From the Girard FFA chapter, Taylor Brines. Lakin Cherry. Creed Curran. Caitlin Hallisey. Lainey Sherman. From the Iola FFA chapter, Jacob Easter. Representing the Labette County FFA chapter, Rebecca Bogner. Kara Detar. Cameron Dodsworth. Aaron Falconston. Lane Manners. Logan Simmons. Riley Sarl. Heather Smith. Lacey Strickland. Bronte Wiesner. Representing the Marmaton Valley FFA chapter, William Holman. Emily Smart. Shelby Yoho. From the Neotish AFA chapter, Trenton Adi. Preston Dufer. Johanna Dunham. Julie Sherrod. From the Riverton FA chapter, Alexis Burlingame. Luke Drager. Devin Elliott. Gabriel Elliott. Hunter Edicott. Kaylee Gum. Tyler Gum. Tyler Larison. Kelly Price. Cade Riggin. Representing the Sedan FA chapter, Kaylee Rhodes. John Wells. From the Southeast FA chapter, Trenton Hartman. From the Uniontown FA chapter, Maddie Yard. Hannah Bierbauer. Kaylee Crystal. Mackenzie Franklin. Aubrey O'Neill. Hayden Schaaf. From the West Elk FA chapter, Caitlin Stapleford. Morgan Riggs. Christopher Montgomery. Zoe Lampson. Andrew Hurt. Riley Hall. Cody Cannon. Eliza Baszler. Laura Wooks. Timothy Whetstone. Kenzie Wiseman. Representing the Yates Center FA chapter, Tyler Harris. Alyssa Hartwig. Devin Hathaway. John Rahigany. Let's give all the degree recipients from the Southeast District and all our state degree recipients a round of applause.
Let's show our appreciation with a final round of applause for this year's state degree recipients and our sponsors. During a mild day over Christmas break, it seemed like a good day to go raccoon calling. I grabbed the essentials, my call and my rifle. I made sure to put on my muck boots and some camouflage for good measure. I set up my stand, placing the collar away from me to get a better angle from where I thought the raccoons would emerge. The collar begins playing the sound of raccoons squabbling. This in turn makes the other raccoons emerge from the tree. I wait, watching where the raccoons should be emerging at any minute. Then I hear what sounds like an animal climbing a tree. So I look more carefully to the different places where I thought they would emerge. Not seeing anything, I continue to wait. Then I hear that sound again. I look to my left to discover that I have been calling the wrong tree the whole time. The raccoon that emerged was in a completely different tree. It was only by chance that I noticed this raccoon. These next individuals to the stage have already done the work of setting up a good stand by earning their American degree, state degree, or district or state proficiency award, but only by chance will they see a gator thanks to our sponsors at John Deere. We are grateful for their continued support and donation of a gator to give away. I now welcome John Deere representative Yancey Wright and the 10 finalists to the stage. A lucky Kansas FFA member is about to be a new owner of a Gator XUV 590E, donated by the following John Deere dealers and the John Deere Turf and Grass Division: Buckland Tractor Incorporated, Carico Tractor Incorporated, Concordia Tractor Incorporated, Heritage Tractor, Hiawatha Implement, Landmark Implement, O'Malley Implement, and Prairie Land Partners. The winner of the Gator is Kate Schoenberg from the Spring Hill FFA chapter. Congratulations, Kate. We would like to thank our Kansas John Deere dealers and the John Deere Agriculture and Turf Division once again for their generous donation to the Kansas FFA Association and their continued support of our organization. It's gratifying to look back and remember the rich traditions that were carried through on a successful hunt. Similarly, the individuals we honored today carried out the tradition of the state FFA degree as a result of the hard work in their SAEs. In this session, we celebrated those individuals, heard inspiring words from Melissa Hildebrand Reed, and drew our lucky Gator winner. Thank you again for playing a part in carrying on these traditions as FFA members. Will my fellow officers please join me on stage for closing ceremonies? Madam Secretary, do you have record of any further business which should now be transacted?
Yes, I do, Mr. President. The state FA degree picture will immediately follow this session right here on the stage of McCain Auditorium. The State Stars Luncheon will begin at noon at the K-State Alumni Center Ballroom. The State Band and Chorus recognition is in the K-State Union Cottonwood Room starting at 11:30. Finally, the 7th and final session of the 90th Kansas FA Convention will take place this afternoon at 2 p.m. Highlights of the final session will include the retiring address of the 2017-2018 Kansas FA President, Eli Oldie, the presentation of the Barb Garlow Memorial Trophy to the top chapter in Kansas, announcement of the Triple Crown Award winner, the final performance by your state FA band and chorus, the presentation of your Stars over Kansas, and announcement and installment of the 2018-2019 Kansas FA officer team.
Thank you. Does any member know of any new or unfinished business which should properly come before this session? We are about to adjourn the 6th session of the 90th Kansas FFA Convention. As we mingle with others, let us be diligent in labor, just in our dealings, courteous to everyone, and above all, honest and fair in the game of life. Fellow members and guests, join me in a salute to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I now declare this 6th session of the 90th Kansas FFA Convention adjourned.
I am capable, we are unstoppable. It starts with you, it starts with me. Shape the future, aspire greater. It starts with us, it starts with we. Together we stand, united together. We better this land, better this land. Rise up to the challenges, strive for greatness. I can, but together we will. I can, but together we will. I can, we will. Be the change we want to see. I can, we will. Step up and leave a legacy. I can, we will. Be the change we want to see. Be the change we want to see. Step up and leave a legacy. Embrace our difference, unite in similarities. See your potential, discover your ability. Where we live and where we lead, where we serve every single day. Our jackets, our standards, our talents lead the way. I can, we will make the promise of better days. Make the promise of better days. I can, we will. Be the change we want to see. I can, we will. Step up and leave a legacy. I can, we will. Be the change we want to see. Be the change we want to see. Step up and leave a legacy. We're all different, we're all unique. But when we come together, we can't be beat. Create a bigger impact. In fact, if I believe we can, we will be the change we want to see. I am powerful, you are powerful. Add it up and we're unstoppable. Together we're stronger than as individuals. Achieve a common goal. Unbelievable.